ओम अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। Hare Krishna. We'll continue discussion on prayers of Bhishmadev. So we are going parallel. Just few shlokas ahead. That's okay. So here we have very few shlokas remaining. Bhishmadev's prayers are small only, but he has one main theme. So we have just revision what all Bhishmadev is looking at the Lord. So very simple, but he has this type of feeling for the Lord. So this is based on the rasa which Bhishmadev is experiencing. So first, itimati upakalpita vitrishna. In this shloka, he says, "Let me now invest my thinking, feeling, and willing." So this we have discussed. The change of heart means change in our thinking, feeling, and willing. This always we should remember, and that's what we are all trying for: the change of heart. Anybody's changing means if a person changes means this should change, but we cannot change of these things so easily, feeling and willing. If somebody is changing feeling, he's at the level of madhyam adhikari. We can start with thinking. We should start thinking in it as a devotee first. Anyway, we have discussed elaborately. Then we have Tribhuvana Kamalam Tamahalvarnam. So from here he starts glorifying. He says, "Oh, this is Krishna, is an intimate friend of Arjuna." So this is what is Bhishma's meditation on Krishna. He says he's friend of Krishna, and he resembles his form. He's describing his form, especially as a friend of Krishna in the battlefield of Kurukshetra, how he looks. And then further his dress and all is describing. And next shloka he says, "Oh, in the battlefield, his hair was flowing hair of Krishna. It turned into ashes because of the hoofs of horses." And then he says that uh, because of his labor, beads of sweat on his face, and all this decoration intensified by the wounds dealt by my sharp arrows. So this is first he described the form. First he said, "Let my thinking, feeling, willing." Then form. Then he says, "Oh, the sharp arrows which I am shooting at Bhishmadev, this is actually making him look more attractive." This is Bhishmadev's form of looking at Krishna. And then he says, "Oh, as an obedient to the command of his friend Arjuna, he is doing this driving job." But also then he says what Krishna is doing. So this is very important. So what Bhishmadev is telling, that Krishna is doing two leelas at a time: Aishwarya Leela and Madhurya Leela. This is Krishna's speciality. So Aishwarya Leela here is what? In his Aishwarya Leela, he is shortening the lifespan of his opposite parties. That is his Aishwarya, his Supreme Lord. But parallelly, what he is doing? He is obeying the command of his friend also. This is his Madhurya. He is, "Oh, I am very humble, I am just servant of my devotee." So this Krishna is able to do in the battlefield of Kurukshetra. Like in any other Leelas, if he is is killing Hiranyakashipu, he is showing his Aishwarya. and and if he is with Yashodama, he is doing Madhurya. But in the battlefield of Kurukshetra, he is able to do parallelly both. His Aishwarya also, his mother is just, "I am just a chariot driver." But his looks are destroying everything. He's shortening the lifespan of his opposite party. This is what is Krishna's speciality. This is what Bhishmadev is appreciating. Wow, I am bewildered by this. How you are able to do simultaneously both. You're in Vrindavan also, Dwaraka also, Kurukshetra is a combination of both. So like that. And then he says, when Arjuna was seemingly polluted by ignorance upon being observed, then now you have taken another form. You have instructed Arjuna Bhagavad Gita. That's amazing. And fulfilling the vow and sacrificing his own promise. So Krishna is telling, not only for Arjuna, you are merciful to me also. Just to keep, to protect your devotee, you could have done in many ways, but you broke the vow of not lifting a weapon. And he didn't lift a weapon also. He could have taken Susan. He took a wheel chariot wheel of all the weapons that are available, but still you have done something to keep me. And then this is the form I am looking at. And now fulfilling my vow and sacrificing his own promise, he got down from the chariot, took up its wheel, and ran towards me hurriedly, just as a lion goes to kill an elephant. And another important thing here is dropped his outer garment on the way. So this is considered like very indecent in Vedic culture. You should always keep your upper garment. Uttari should be always there. If it is falling down, means it's not a very cult. So Krishna even didn't care. My outer garment fall. He just ran. So how much Krishna is showing his affection for Bhishma. This is what he is saying. And then he says that, oh, may he, Lord Sri Krishna, the personality of Godhead, who awards salvation by be my ultimate destination. On the battlefield, he charged me as if angry because of the wounds dealt by my sharp arrows. His shield was scattered and his body was smeared with blood due to the wounds. So this form is meditating that now he's saying, let him award salvation. Of course, Bhishmadev we don't need. He is already pure devotee. He will go to spiritual world, but he is out of his humility. He's telling maybe Lord should grant me salvation. Now I'm okay. So, and then now we'll continue our discussion on 39th verse. At the moment of death, let my ultimate attraction be to Sri Krishna. This should be the desire we should all have. Oh, this is the perfected person in terms of living their body. Perfect example is Vishnudev. And what is telling? Let me be attracted to my mobile. No, he's telling Krishna, I am also attracted to anything. I concentrate my mind upon the chariot driver Arjuna, who stood with a whip in his right hand and bridle rope in his left hand, who was very careful to give protection to Arjuna's chariot by all means. Those who saw him on the battlefield of Kurukshetra attained their original form after death. So this is also another thing. So Lord is doing chariot driver and he is delivering. Not only reducing their lifespan, he is also giving them, sending them to spiritual world. This is very important understanding that Krishna is not partial. If he is partial, he could have just, who cares, they are all opposite party. No. What the soldiers could not have got in any other way, that Krishna is giving. If they die normally, they could not have attained any liberation. If they have died in a at home in a stinking bed, they will never attain this, which happens to many of the people. But they are dying in front of Krishna. What a glorious! If we would have been in Kurukshetra battle in front of Krishna fighting with Arjuna, now we will not be sitting here. Of course, that is only liberation. That is another problem. People think it's a shortcut. I could have got liberated. But what happens is they'll not get prema. That is the problem. But we don't want liberation. We want prema. So, yes, even if people go to Vaikuntha, they will get Sukhaishwarya Mukti, Premottar Mukti like that. They will not get, they may at the best get Shantar. They will not get prema. The love cannot be achieved. They will in the Vaikuntha also, they are there, they'll say, oh, Supreme Lord, very good. And they'll go to their home, they'll have their spiritual TV and they'll watch Krishna's Leela there. That's all. They don't have any relation with Krishna. But we want to develop that relation. So people, they say, no, they want to leave their body in Mundara. And many people, they get liberated also. If they are in Dham, they are living. They'll not get prema. That is, we need to work hard, follow in the footsteps of Brajavasis, like Srila Prabhupada, Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur, our Acharyas, Rup Sanatan Goswami. Then only will attain prema. Liberation is not actually our consideration only. People say he left his body in Dham. But did he work to get prema? That is not very sure. For that, there is so much hard work is needed. So this is the difference we should very clearly look. Okay, no problem. At the end of life, I'll go to the hospice and I'll leave my body. No guarantee of prema there. That is not for prema. Is you have to read Manasiksha, Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, read Bhagavatam, Brihad Bhagavatamrita, seriously practice, become humble. All the Sikshashtakam verses, all the eight slokas properly practicing, then and Anasanivati Nishtarachya Saksin Bhava Prema, then only it is possible. So liberation is something even the animals in Vrindavan also get, but prema is not possible. So a pure devotee of Lord constantly sees the presence of Lord within himself because of being transcendentally related by loving service. Such a pure devotee cannot forget the Lord for a moment. This is called trance. The mystic yogis try to concentrate upon the supersoul by controlling the senses from all other engagement. Thus, he ultimately attains samadhi. A devotee more easily attains samadhi or trance by constantly remembering the Lord's personal features along with his holy name, fame, pastimes, etc. Therefore, the concentration of the mystic yogi and that of a devotee are not on the same level. The concentration of mystics is mechanical, whereas that of a pure devotee is natural, pure love and spontaneous affection. Vishnu was a pure devotee, and as a military marshal, he constantly remembered the battlefield features of the Lord as Parthasar, the chariot driver of Arjuna. So all the shlokas we see, Bhishma has always this theme. He want to see this form of Lord. Parthasarthi form is the meditation of Bhishma. That is his absorption. So he want to see that form only, and he goes to Supreme Lord like that. So one form is meditating, and in all his prayers you see that is the form he is meditating. Therefore, the Lord's pastimes as Parthasar is also eternal. That's why Bhishma is able to eternally meditate. The pastimes of Lord beginning from his birth as at the prison house of Kamsa up to the Moksha Leela at the end, all move one after another in all the universes. So somewhere Krishna is now teaching Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna. So this is happening there. What type of liberation? He may get Shukaishwarya Mukti. They will not have prema. They will, if they are not practicing properly under proper parampara, guru system and all, they will not get any. If they are practicing with Gaudiya Vaishnava, then they will get proper prema. If they are practicing any other Vallabh Sampradaya, some Sampradaya guru is there, they have worked hard, did proper sadhana, then they practice, then they will get prema. Otherwise, prema is not like that. It's not, Krishna will not give. You say, okay, you want to come and stay, you can stay with Vaikuntha Loka, you get some Shantarati, you can just be there with him, some Salokya, Sarupya, all these muktis, but not love. Love is something we have to work hard under a guidance of a devotee who is having love. That means all our acharyas, then only it is possible. Clear, Matas? So here, all the pastimes of Lord, na, they are always happening. The sun sets here, but for sun there is no sunset, always there. But for us there is sunset and sunrise. Similarly, for Lord's pastime also, there is something called, we will see. We will be able to see the Lord's pastimes now, and after some time we will not be able to see, because of our, we are in a relative world, but for Lord it is absolute. The past tense are also absolute, so they will always be happening. It is eternally happening. Sometimes we get opportunity to see, like now it is daytime here, we are able to see sun, but night there is no possibility like that. So here, so Bhishma, they never forgot the beautiful features of the Lord as Parthasarthi, which even Arjuna could not see because Arjuna is behind. Arjuna is behind the beautiful Parthasarthi, while Bhishma was just in front of the Lord. As far as the military features of Lord is concerned, Bhishma observed this with more relish than Arjuna. All the soldiers and persons. So this is the last line which Prabhupada is going to explain how Krishna developed all the living entities. So all the soldiers and persons on the battlefield of Kurukshetra attained their original spiritual form like the Lord after their death. Because of the causeless mercy of the Lord, they were able to see him face to face on that occasion. The conditions also rotting in the evolutionary cycle from the aquatics up to the form of Brahma are all in the form of Maya, or the form obtained by one's own actions and avoided by matter nature. The material form of the conditioned souls are all foreign dresses, and when the conditioned souls becomes liberated from the clutches of material energy, he attains his original form. The impersonalists want to attain the impersonal Brahman effulgence of the Lord, but that is not at all congenial to the living sparks, part and parcels of the Lord. Therefore, the impersonalists after again fall down and get material forms, which are all false to the spirit soul. The spiritual form, like the Lord's, either two-handed or four-handed, is attained by the devotees of the Lord within either in the Vaikuntha or in the Golaka planet, according to the original nature of the soul. This form, which is sent person spiritual, is the Swarupa of the living being, and all the living beings who practice on the participated on the battlefield of Kurukshetra on both sides attained their Swarupa, or the as confirmed by Bhishmadev. So Lord Sri Krishna was not merciful only to the Pandavas, he was also merciful to other parties because all of them attained the same result. Bhishmadev wanted the same facility also, and that was his prayer to the Lord. Although this position as an associate of the Lord is assumed in all circumstances, the conclusion is that whoever dies looking on the personality of Godhead within or without attains his Swarupa, which is the highest perfection of like that. So, yeah, Shamukut. So, here one have to be very careful of pride. Otherwise, one will feel that I did such great sadhana and work hard. Do I deserve prem? Yeah. Sada dambam hitva kuru ratim Natitara. The first instruction of Manasiksha. Of all instruction, first instruction is give up pride. So why pride? Because that is actually what is holding us to this material world. Anytime we think I am the doer, that's all because of pride only. There is no question of spiritual world. Pride is what is holding. Like I gave the example of Babaji who is living in Vrindavan and he left his body. He was about to leave his body, calls his disciples, says, okay, now I'm leaving my body. And Yamadutas will come and take me and to Yamaraj, and Chitragupta opens the book and starts reading one after another all my activities. And then I will justify why did I act like that. I was given the situation, and in this situation this is the best thing I can do. I was exploited. I was in my conditions were like this, and there is no other best way to act other than this, so I fully justify this. And Emeraj says yes, and Chitragupta going on reading, and I justify so much one after another. I get tears in my eyes for self pity, and then at the end, after asking everything, Yamara says, yes, it's all good that you are not the doer. But why did you become proud then? You are telling you are not the doer. Why did you become proud? So the punishment is not for the activities. Punishment is because of our pride only. The attitude with what we have is punishment is given to it. So as soon as we change our attitude, all the punishment is mapping, excused from it. But this is not happening to living entities. So we still keep a wrong attitude. Lord has to punish again and again to rectify it. So pride is what is holding us. Here Prabhupada Swarupa, actually here Prabhupada is giving in a general way. Swarupa is actually attaining prema level. But here in this battlefield, their Swarupa means they are at least in the spiritual world. But prema means without sadhana, it is not possible. We have to follow somebody who has love, follow in his footsteps to attain love. Because Krishna will not give love so easily. Because love means love controls Krishna. Means Krishna will become subordinate to that person. Why Krishna want to give so easily? So Krishna will not give. Now he is driving chariot for Arjuna. He will not drive chariot for all the people in the Kurukshetra battle because they don't have love for him. He will give, okay, you want to come, you can stay in Vaikuntha. But love is for only for Bhishmadev living body is coming. He will not come for everyone. Yes, because for then Krishna will be captured by love. So it is not so easy. And this is what Bhishmadev's next meditation. He says this is very important that Vishnudev knows this highest rasa of Krishna also. This is very interesting. We have only two shlokas, and after that Vishnudev is spiritual world. We'll send Vishnudev to spiritual world tomorrow. We'll not do it. We'll see. Possible today. But there are some important points we have to learn. Maybe tomorrow we'll discuss on Vishnudev's living also. He says, "Let my mind be fixed upon Lord Sri Krishna, who whose motions and smiles uh, of love attracted the damsels of Rajatham, the gopis. The damsels imitated the characteristic movements of the Lord after his disappearance from the Rasa dance." So Vishnudev is meditating on Rasa dance when he is leaving his body. This is what is greatness of Bhagavatam. So Bhagavatam is ultimately only one thing. It's glorifying gopis only. Meant to glorify Srimati Radharani. Wherever. From beginning. So even if you see when Kunti Maharani is telling Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya cha Nandagopa Kumaraya. So she mentions, okay, Vasudeva is fortunate, then say, no, more than Vasudeva, Devaki is fortunate. More than Devaki, Nanda Maharaj is fortunate. And then he says, Govindaya Namo Namaha. Then he says, why Govinda? Actually, there it is, she's mentioning about Srimati Radharani. Because when he got the name Govinda, when he's in Pavanda age, Yashoyar age, and that is the time he performed the Ras Leela with the gopis. She want to tell Radharani's name, but she says Govinda. Because she's telling, that is very high for me to take. And here, that there she is telling, glorifying Radharani. This shloka is also glorifying Srimati Radharani. So whole Bhagavatam is for glorifying Srimati Radharani. Atra sarga visargasya sthanam poshnamudaya manvantara ishanupata nirodha muktir ashraya. So whole Bhagavatam, Dasamasya Vishuddhanam Navanam. All these 9 cantos, 9 topics of Bhagavatam are meant to glorify the 10th canto, that is Ashraya. Ashraya is Krishna. And the highest form is of Krishna is Akila Rasamurtimurti, and that is manifested in Vrindavan. So ultimately, it is this form of Lord where he is dancing with gopis is glorified in Bhagavatam, like that. So by reading Bhishmadev in the battlefield, glorifying Krishna Arjuna, and then suddenly stealing gopis. So because he also knows the essence. By intense ecstasy in loving service, the damsels of Rajabhumi attained qualitative oneness with the Lord by dancing with him on an equal level, embracing him in nuptial love, smiling at him in joke, and looking at him with a loving attitude. The relation of the Lord with Arjuna is undoubtedly praiseworthy for devotees like Vishnudev, but the relation of gopis with the Lord is still more praiseworthy because of their still more powerful loving service. By the grace of Lord, Arjuna was fortunate enough to have fraternal service of the Lord as chariot driver. But the Lord did not award Arjuna with equal strength. The gopis, however, practically became one with the Lord by attainment of equal footing with the Lord. So the love of gopis is more than Arjuna. That's a Lord. The Bhishmadev's aspiration to remember the gopis is a prayer to have their mercy also at the last stage of his life. So what Bhishmadev is telling, Bhishmadev also want the mercy of gopis. The Lord is satisfied more when his pure devotees are glorified. And therefore, Bhishmadev has not only glorified the act of Arjuna, his immediate object of attraction, but has also remembered the gopis who are endowed with unrivaled opportunity for rendering loving service to the Lord. The gopis' equality with the Lord should never be misunderstood to be like the Sayuja liberation of the impersonalist. The equality is one of the perfect ecstasy where the differential conception is completely eradicated, where the interest of the lover and the beloved becomes identical. If you want to know more details about it, Bhakti Rasamut Sindhu and Chaitanya Charitamrita will tell. Will not go in detail about this last 2 lines, especially last line. What is the equality? We will not take more. So this is where I think this is the last but prayer. Okay. two more prayers of Vishnu. So here he is glorifying about Rajasuya sacrifice. So now what he is he remembering after the gopis? He is remembering this part. At the Rajasuya Yajna sacrifice performed by Maharaj Yudhishthira, there was the greatest assembly of all elite men of the world, the royal and learned orders, and in that great assembly, Lord Sri Krishna was worshipped by one and all as the most exalted personality of Godhead. This happened during my presence, and I remember the incident in order to keep my mind upon the Lord. So he is feeling it's a privilege. I could see such great personalities worshipping the Lord. So he is able to, because what happens is at the time of death, whatever is our most intense experience that we get in our thoughts. That's why we say, na, if you see Jagannath on the car, Rath Yatra is going to come, then at the time of death, that form will come. Just we had to have that intensity also. Otherwise, our whatever our status, we may remember some other things. What will come in our status. So this is intense absorption. Whatever, what is the problem is wherever emotion goes, that's where our consciousness is more absorbed. We have to be very careful that intense emotions wherever we are investing. Why attachment comes? Attachment comes when they are emotionally involved. Say now, if I am eating a mango and you experience some pleasure and the intense pleasure, then that gives me attachment to mango. If I ate a mango and it is like tasting like plastic or it's so sour, the next time when I see mango, I'll not have any attachment to mango. I know it's all plastic. So, but if you have experience of pleasure so intensely, then to remember it becomes very easy because that forms an impression, the sanskara, the attachment forms. And that's why people remember, like wife is remembering the husband when she is leaving the body. Why? Because she has that great intense attachment. She experience his love, care, and all this. So same thing with the children and anything like uh, young soldiers when they die. These are doctors. They say they cry for mother. They are already in 20s, early, late 20s and all. When they are dying on the battle, they got wounded and they're in the hospital. They are dying. They cry mother. Why mother? Because we all have very intense experience with our mother, the love, the care we have. So wherever emotion goes, when Bhishmadev was attending this Raj, he was so intensely moved by that act of Krishna being worshipped. So immediately it is coming to his consciousness because that was the highest pleasure he experienced. That's why it is easy for if I'm to. When we go to temple, when we participate in kirtan, when we are hearing katha, when we are with devotees, we should also get that intense experience. Then we'll never leave that. We will get so much attached to it. We always want to come back to temple, be with devotees, attend kirtan, attend class, have prasadam. We should we should have we should be fully observed and we should have that intense experience like that. So then he says further, Prabhupada writes in the purport, after gaining victory in the battle of Kurukshetra, Maharaj Yudhishthira, the emperor, performed Rajasuya sacrifice. Of course, this is before because Bhishma was not there after battle. So he performed before. The emperor in those days, upon his ascent to the throne, this is when he was Indraprastha was made, that time he did, would send a challenge charge. Here, after the battle of Kurukshetra, he did 3 Ashwamedha sacrifices. That's what Prabhupada is mentioning. He would send a challenge horse all over the world to declare his supremacy, and any ruling prince or king was at liberty to accept the challenge and express his tacit willingness either to obey or to disobey the supremacy of the particular emperor. One who accepts the challenge had to fight with the emperor and establish his own supremacy by victory. The defeated king would have to sacrifice his life, making a place for another king or ruler. So Maharaj Yudhishthir also dispatched such challenging horse all over the world, and every ruling prince and king all over the world accepted Maharaj Yudhishthir's leadership as the emperor of the world. After this, all rulers of the world under the regime of Maharaj Yudhishthir were invited to participate in the great sacrificial ceremony of Rajsut. Such performance required hundreds of millions of dollars, and it was not an easy job for a petty king. Such a sacrificial ceremony being too expensive and also difficult to perform under present circumstances, it is now impossible in this age of Kali. Not for anyone, uh, nor can anyone secure the required expert priesthood to take charge of the ceremony. So, Ashwamedham, Gwalam, Sannyasam, Palva. These five things are not allowed in Kali Yuga, especially this horse sacrifice. Yeah, so we would have to take birth again and again until we are being able to remember Krishna at the time of death. Yes, we have to take birth because if a person want liberation, he can get liberation. But want to go to whatever he is remembering, that's where he will go. Very simple. Now, if I die, I know where I will go because I will not remember Krishna. That is for sure. I will be taking birth again. And what I will remember, I cannot guess also. Uh, so it is not very easy to tell what will be our next birth. At least for ourselves, we can know. Yeah, very difficult for me to remember Krishna because at the time of chanting only, I am not able to remember any times Krishna. So what is the question of at the time of death? Because at the time of death, now will be very in a very intense emotional state. That time is more difficult. That's why the sadhana is very important. Why Bhishma Dev is so much glorified? Just because of this only. With such a see, he is not even having a drop of blood in his body. And now with that situation where whole body is pierced with arrows, not one arrow is going and no one arrow in my hand I am speaking Bhagavatam. It's not like that. The whole body is pierced with arrows, not even a drop of blood is remaining. Such a painful state of body, but his mind is so clean, mind is so pure, and is offering such beautiful prayers. Not only that, I know who will ask in such a state of mind. Bhishma Dev questions. Okay, can you tell me what is dharma? I know Bhishma says, Arey Baba, I am dying. You see what is my state? And you want to hear about dharma now? I don't, there is, I'm not even sitting in a proper state. I am lying on a bed of arrows and you want to talk about dharma? Bhishma didn't have any problem. He was able to speak. And when he's speaking, not only him, many great personalities are coming. They also want to know from him. So this is what is Bhishma Dev. That's why he's glorified because he was so powerful in his mental state because of his sadhana. That's the greatness of Vishnu. That's why he's so much glorified. And his Vishnu Sahasranama, whole South India, everybody is so much now. Vishnu Sahasranama is so famous. All incarnations of Lord, if they are not mentioned in Vishnu Sahasranama, then he is not there only. That form of Lord which is not mentioned in Vishnu Sahasranama is not there. All avatars are there. Even Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also. That much exhaustive knowledge Bhishma Dev had in terms of dharma and so many topics he had. So and he was so clear. It did not disturb. Like sometimes we get fever or some other bodily pains here there. So difficult to chant only. If the temperature changes, very hot or very cold, also to chant is so difficult. Whereas I say, Babre, so much hot. So can you imagine what must be Bhishma there? Question is, but Krishna also says that if my devotee is unable to remember me at the time of, then I will remember his service. Yeah. Krishna will help us. Unless Krishna help, we cannot remember only. Even if you want to remember Krishna at the time of death, that is Krishna's mercy we will remember. But when will Krishna help us to remember? When we seriously want it. Because what happens at the time of death, Krishna will ask, want to come to me? Then say, no, I have actually not completed all the all my things at my family, I still want to make my children devotee, and I I did not get sufficient this, sufficient that. So many we have some attachment. That's why we are. Otherwise, Krishna is ready to come. If we have very intense desire to go back to Krishna, Krishna will say, "Don't worry, I'll take care at the time of death." Ananyas chintayanto mam ejana paribhashate. And Krishna is giving that assurance that I will help you to remember me at the time of death. But what is the condition that whether I am eager to go is actually the criteria. Otherwise, Krishna is more eager to take us back. But problem is the living entity don't have that much intense desire because so many other desires are holding. There is a screen that is holding. That's why we have the story of Kailash. Narada Muni is coming. Okay, are you ready? He says, no, no, no. My children are not yet married. Grandchildren I didn't see. So many reasons are there. That is actually holding. Somebody is able to manage without any, they are free from all these things. They say, okay, Krishna, you take care of everything. I want to come to you. He says, okay, no problem. Parikshit Maharaj, if you see, no, it comes in 19th chapter. For him, it was 7 days. Even if you want to give a send off for all the people, all the big people, family members, his other kings, ministers, big subjects, and all these things, and even if you want to look at his estate one time and come back, 7 days will be over because such a big empire he had. Parikshit Maharaj just said to his son, okay, you take care, I'm leaving. So immediately he could do it. That means what? How much he has practiced, how much he has developed that attraction. So that's why Sukadeva Goswami came for him to give Bhagavatam class. For us in our temple hall, Sukadeva Goswami will not come to give Bhagavatam. He'll say half of the people will sleep. So he will not come. So Parikshit Maharaj is so qualified. He was like already Mahabhagavat. So the point is, uh, living entity don't want to go to Krishna. That's why Krishna is not able to do. He says you desire sincerely, and Krishna is only thing a living entity do is desire only. As such, everything is done by Prakriti. Prakriti kriyamani gunai karmani sarvasha ahankar vimudhatma kattaham iti. Everything is done by Prakriti only. What a living entity do is only he can uh, he can desire, and that desire comes when we associate with a person who has such strong desires. And here we are seeing Bhishma Dev's desire. He's saying, my dear Lord, this is what I want. And here is also, that's why we hear Kunti Maharani saying, Toime Ananya Vishya Matir Madhumate Sar Ratim Uddhato Maddam Gange Oga Madam. So this is what is Kunti Maharani is also telling. Let my consciousness flow towards you like Ganges flow into the ocean. And Bhishma, there is a iti mati upakalpita with Krishna. So my thinking, feeling, willing, everything should be towards you. This is what a devotee has got. We should also develop the desire. Oh Krishna, one day let me just chant and nothing else I need in my life. Then Krishna says, yes, then this is not a place for you to stay. In spiritual world only it is possible. Then you come there. Like that. Clear, though? I am answering something. So then he says, Prabhupada, so in that great assembly, Lord Sri Krishna was a connoisseur of neighboring eyes. Everyone wanted to see Lord Krishna and everyone wanted to pay a humble respect to the Lord. Vishwadev remembered all this and was glad that his worshipable Lord, the personality of God, was present before him in his actual formal presence. So, to meditate on the Supreme Lord is to meditate on the activity, form, past tense, name, and fame of the Lord. So, this is what is meditation we all can do because for us, Lord will not come. That, of course, he can come in this form, in the form of devotees, holy name, but not like Vishnu there. That is easier than what is imagined as meditation on the impersonal feature of the Supreme. In the Bhagavad Gita, it is clearly stated that to meditate on the impersonal feature of the Lord is very difficult. It is a it is practically no meditation or simply a waste of time because very seldom is the desired result of the devotees however meditate on the, it is very difficult to attain that. So it's waste of meditating on impersonal. That's what Prabhupada is telling. The devotees, however, meditate upon the Lord's factual form and past tense. Therefore, the Lord is easily approachable by the devotees. This is also stated in the Bhagavad Gita. The Lord is non-different from his transcendental activity. This is indicated also in the shloka that Lord Sri Krishna, while actually present before human society, especially in connection with the battle of Kurukshetra, was accepted as the greatest personality of the time. Although he might not have been recognized as the supreme personality of Godhead, the propaganda that a very great man is worshipped as God after his death is misguiding, because a man after death cannot be made into God. Nor can the personality of Godhead be a human being even when he is personally present. Both ideas are misconceptions. The idea of anthropomorphism cannot be applicable in the case of Lord Krishna. So another thing, people they are fighting for many of these religious, these that, but we should also be very clear. So we have one last layer of Vishnu. After reading, I wanted to explain, because nowadays so many your devotees also, they are so much affected with these movies and all this come Kerala files and Kashmir files. This actually is not for devotees. We should be very clear about it. I wanted to speak on this. This is all bogus for devotees. We should not. This is not topic of our discussion only. But because it should not be topic of our discussion, that's why I'm telling about it. Why it is bogus? Because everything happens by karma. So simple. Why we should be so much carried away by all these things? If it is not karma of a person, why it will happen to him anything? All the nonsense people will come one place, and the militant will come, shoot everybody and go. And we say, oh, such a dangerous activity happened. It happened, but these people are not innocent people who died. They are having their own karma. It did not happen by chance to them. Why we should see? It's very inhuman, or we can say insensitive to speak. How can you say they are killed? See, after dying, okay, we say we sympathize, but we should know it does not happen by chance. This is very important. Of course, many other points are also there. See, you say, we say that they are Hindus, but if they are going to some other Mayavadi organizations, we have so many, I don't want to name them. But if they go, they'll all go to hell only. Somebody is telling, they were brainwashed and they went to this country and became like this. But these people are also brainwashing and sending them to hell. But you say they are Hindus, Hindu organization only. But they are taking royally people to hell by telling these 2 points only. What Prabhupada is telling, what they are telling, there are so many organizations, Hindu organizations, who propagate the very great. So the propaganda that very great man is worshipped as God. How many Hindu organizations they have this? So many people they worship as God, and they mislead. After death, they say we can become God, and they also say nor can a personality be a human being. This is also, so they are offending Krishna, and they say Krishna is ordinary person. Krishna, we all can become Krishna, and Krishna became God by meditation. All these people, everybody will go to hell. So that means they are Hindus only, but they are going to hell. They are not going to Afghanistan. They are going much more degraded. So why should we should be compassionate for them also, no? How many organizations they offend Krishna? And that is what is the problem. And people they are saying, oh, they are all taking to hell. Somebody is a good Christian and good Muslim, na? He's much better than these Mayavadis also. At least they will be going to heaven. But this somebody who's a Hindu following this Mayavadis, they will go to hell. Good Christian, good Muslim will go to heaven. But we say no, because he's a Hindu, he's right. It's not like that. So we should be very clear. We should not be bothered about these things. This is all act of three modes of mental nature. That's all. This Maya's arrangement. Somebody does mischief, he'll be getting some situation for him. This life he is a Muslim, next life he'll be Hindu, he'll torture them, then they will torture him. It's like that only. So Don't take all these things. This is the point. Prabhupada purpose should be clear for us. Prabhupada is telling all these people are bogus, they'll all go to hell. It's clear only, na? So all these that organization, so many organizations who offend Krishna, I'll not name them, but you know all. And they are so famous in India and they have lakhs of followers. So what will happen to them? It's not all will go to hell because they'll remain in this material world in this samsara chakra. But some are who are serious followers of them, 100% will go to hell. 100%. So what about them then? We should take files on them also. There should be movie. This organization file, that organization, because they're all cheating them and sending them to hell. So this is what our understanding should be. So hope you understood my pain. Actually, we should be devotees of Prabhupada, not Pradhan Mantri. Many of the devotees, they have more appreciation to Modi than Prabhupada also. They are more devoted to Modi. Such a dangerous thing. See, even he is also impersonalist. He is not devotee. We should not worship him by reading about him, meditating on him, speaking. No, we should not discuss about them. That is none of our business. Yesterday, one devotee kept status. And no, this happened, elections. I said that is none of our business. This is just three modes of material nature that are acting. It everything happens by their own karma. If some woman is having, she got exploited, or some person is killed, or something happened, it is their own karma. They have to come and they have to take it. We try to protect ourselves, will not get exploited, but that does not make anything difference in this material world. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu time only all the conversions happened, but Chaitanya Mahaprabhu didn't say anything. If you remember the pastime of Subuddhi Rai, that happened Chaitanya Mahaprabhu time. Subuddhi Rai was he bet Nawab Hussain Shah and his wife sees. Arey, what happened? I was working with Subuddhi Rai when I was small, and he bet me. So the whips are there, and wife says kill him. He says no, no, no. He actually like my father. Then at least you convert him. So he throws water on him, the drink, and throw water on him. So Subhadra was changed. Then he says, what to do? I want to die. Chaitanya was said, no need, just chant Hare Krishna. So that time, lakhs and lakhs of people are converted like that. But what did Chaitanya Mahaprabhu do? Just chant Hare Krishna. He did not change any political situation. He did not change. If Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu did not do, and Prabhupada went and met Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur, and he says, we'll change political situation of the country. Bhaktisiddhanta says, forget about it. Just preach the message of Lord Chaitanya. That's enough. Then when it comes to us, why we should be bothered about the political situation? Just chant Hare Krishna, preach pure devotional service. That is the only requirement. That is the only savior for the world. If more and more devotees stand sincerely, the situation of the world will become better than what it is. That's all. That that should be our faith. We should not have faith on these political situations. No matter whatever, every country is crazy only because everybody is going to hell in a very their own style. So yeah, so we should not be so much carried away with all these things. This is not a very helpful for any of us. Especially for devotees, very few people do pure devotional service. There are only few thousands of people around the world. We can happily practice pure devotional service, and crores of people are there who will deal with all these things. That's none of our business. That's what I'm understanding, and that's actually what I read also. If you have any objections, you can you can take. Okay, thank you all very much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Anybody has any questions, comments? We'll end here. So tomorrow we'll send Vishnudev to spiritual. Hare Krishna. Yes, sir. Srijan Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Dandavat Pranam, Prabhu.
Then
Thank you for such a nice class, Prabhuji. So I had a small doubt, Prabhuji. Yeah.
yeah. Yes, yes, Srijan Prabhu. You are in. Yes, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Am I audible,
Yeah,
Prajit?
yeah.
Prajit. Thank you, Prajit, for such a nice class. Actually, my doubt was, as you said, that Parishit Maharaj had so much of empire and so much things, but when he got a call, immediately left and went for like Krishna means realizing Krishna, means taking shelter of Krishna. So for that, it must be like he must have practiced so much of what ways vairagya while performing his duties so perfectly. So, but what I have experienced is that like when we feel little means try to practice detached, there comes little irresponsibility. So, how to balance the both like being detached and being responsible of the things like family or whatever, mainly family.
Oh, actually, very good question. Tomorrow you'll be there in the class because it is not small answer. I'll answer this in the beginning. Tomorrow you'll be joining class.
Yes, Proj.
Okay, tomorrow in the beginning I'll start with this. I
Okay,
don't
Proj.
want to answer in 2 minutes and end it. It's a very important discussion. We will do it.
Oh, yes, Proj. Okay.
You just remind me, put a message in chat box in case if I forget. Thank you all very much.
Yes, Proj.
Today is Ekadasi.